Alright, this lesson is a little bit of a lighter one. It's a little more fun, useful slang in here. Some people might think it's a little bit dirty, but it's not a big deal. I don't say the worst stuff. So if you're easily offended by things, you might be offended by this, but it's not a big deal, and it's great English, so you're gonna hear this stuff all the time anyway. And I definitely got your attention, I think, with the title, which doesn't make a lot of sense for the lesson, but it kind of does. You'll see lots of sex. Alright, we're talking mostly, but not always, about how most cultures treat women when it comes to them sleeping with a lot of different guys. We always have different words for this, and it's kind of unfair, actually. But that's how society is, it's how language is, to judge women in a bad way when they sleep with a lot of guys, but somehow guys are heroes, maybe not heroes, but it's not as bad if a guy sleeps with a lot of girls, so that's why we have, I think, these words in our cultures. I mean, we could get into a whole cultural thing here, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to tell you what the words mean. So if someone says, that girl, she's really easy. She is really easy. Doesn't mean easy going. It means she's easy to sleep with. Okay? She'll sleep with anybody. You just gotta be nice to her, maybe buy her dinner. That's it. She'll sleep with you. Now, I don't think it's that easy with most girls, but that's what being easy means. If you say someone's easy, she's easy, that's what it means. She's easy to get into bed. Not too hard to figure out. Okay, now if you say that guy is easy, it doesn't really sound sensible because we kind of all assume on some level that, well, most guys are probably easy, right? It's usually in a dating situation, the guy is pushing the envelope. He's the one trying to sleep with the girl. She probably wants to as well, but usually he's the one sort of starting it. So it doesn't really make sense to say a guy's easy because we imagine most guys are easy if they're single and around good-looking women. Okay, now if you say a girl is tight, this is the very opposite of easy. And sometimes tight in a totally different way can mean, you're cheap. But usually we say guys are tight in that way because the guys don't want to spend money. So if you say that guy's a real tight, usually a tight ass. If someone's a real tight ass, they don't spend money generously at all, right? But in this case, if the girl's really tight, it means the opposite of easy, hard to sleep with, in kind of actually in a bad way. Like she's too difficult to sleep with. Like it's such a big deal. Right? So that's what we mean if we say she's really tight. Easy's a lot worse though. It's a lot worse. If a girl's hard to get or playing hard to get, we say she's playing hard to get. She's sort of pretending and acting like it's not going to be easy to sleep with her. And that's, I think, how most girls are, right? So whether they're easy or not, people are people, right? And, different people, of course, have different beliefs on their culture, whatever. And I'm kind of assuming people are in their 20s, they're single. And, different people have a different threshold, a different level of when should you sleep with someone? After 3 dates? After 3 hours and a couple of drinks? After 3 months? After you get married? If someone waits, in our culture at least, for 3 months, that's pretty hard to get. I mean, that's pretty tight. Now, these words mean easy, and they also mean that you have sex with a lot of different guys easily. And that's not good. So that's what a slut is. And a whore, we often use whore. These are terrible words, by the way, so don't go throwing them around because people are going to get offended. I'm just telling you what they mean. So if you call a girl a slut, it means she slept with a lot of different guys easily. Not like she's 28 and had 7 boyfriends and never cheated. That's not being a slut. Being a slut in English is more like, she goes out to the bar every weekend, sleeps with another guy. That kind of thing. That's a slut. It's always used in a bad way. Now, some girls might think that's okay. That's the lifestyle they want to lead. But if you say the word slut, it's not good. Whore has the connotation of being a prostitute. So it kind of means that you're probably paying them to sleep with them. But the way we use it in spoken English most of the time is kind of the same as a slut. Because we don't have, well, we do have prostitutes. But just often, for whatever reason, when we're talking about, if you say that girl's a whore, you probably mean a slut. That's probably what you mean, although the real meaning of whore is prostitute. She's getting paid for it. This is kind of a funny one here, a man whore. And this isn't even really that bad of a term, but it kind of is. So it's a guy who sleeps with way too many women. And the way I understand the term, I mean, these are really slang words, especially man whore. So I have to kind of even guess in my own language. But I have a good idea. So the idea I think of a man whore is, now imagine a guy who sleeps with way too many women, like 5 every week. He goes out, maybe comes home at 5 a.m. and these girls, he doesn't know them, they look ugly. He's even embarrassed about it the next day. Just going crazy sleeping like that with so many different girls. No standards, just take anybody that'll sleep with him. That's being a man whore. So that looks bad because you have no standards. So just sleeping with tons of women, take anybody. That's being a man whore. Now these are interesting ones. A little less offensive, but they mean the same thing. Gets around or sleeps around. If I say, oh, she really gets around, that means, well, she certainly had a few boyfriends in her day. Or, yeah, she sleeps around on her boyfriend. That means she cheats on him. So if you sleep around on somebody, you're cheating on them. Or if you just sleep around in general, it means you have a lot of different people that you're sleeping with. And of course, you're doing more than just sleeping. So you sleep around on someone, you cheat on them. Sleep around in general, you just got a lot of people you're sleeping with. So, interesting lesson, fun one, but make sure to be a little bit careful. Check out the detailed meanings on the site, learnenglish232.com.